Hi everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. I think it's perfect time to talk about fashion. First of all, what is fashion? It's pretty hard to define something like fashion, but let's try. I have a great definition that I came up with that fits perfectly into something that I would say if somebody asked me what is fashion. So here it is. Fashion is the ultimate force of time. It sounds a bit strange and maybe too complicated, but please understand that fashion never was and never will be clothes. If you try to define fashion by saying it's clothes, it's trends, or something like that, please be aware that it's really wrong. Fashion and fashion industry are two different meanings. These are two different terms, and we should recognize when we talk about fashion that fashion and fashion industry are not the same. It is easy to say fashion when we talk about fashion industry because it's all around us. Everybody is using that term fashion. But it's a shame that so many people do not think about what they are talking about and they use it wrongly. So they use fashion when probably in most magazines, in most articles you will read online, it is correct to use fashion industry in these contexts. So let's try to understand what fashion industry is. The easiest way to define fashion industry is by defining it with the help of capitalism. It may sound weird, but believe me, we are on the right path, and hear me out. Here I have my notes. I hope you don't mind. Theories connect fashion to capitalism, but I think it's so wrong to connect these two terms. When we can connect fashion industry to capitalism, then it makes much more sense. Fashion industry in the age of capitalism is the most significant form of fashion in 3D reality. Studying fashion in the age of capitalism is like studying drop of ocean and the whole ocean. That drop is not the ocean, but ocean is all the drops. So the drop is actually a fashion industry in the ocean of fashion. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's really easy way to understand fashion and fashion industry in the age of capitalism. Please note that fashion in capitalism tells us that fashion is not a product of capitalism, but more of a capitalism is a product of fashion. Fashion cannot be a part of capitalism and be strictly dependent on capitalism and at the same time exist without capitalism. If we try to define fashion only by connecting it to Western world and Western capitalism, then we exclude every possibility of fashion existence in any other forms other than capitalism. So what happens then? For example, right now, and I would say the whole 2020, is fashion existing right now, or is it just fashion industry that is affected? By no means should we ever think that fashion is not existing in situations when only fashion industry is affected, because you cannot destroy fashion. Fashion is immortal. Fashion is always there. Fashion is just like time. It's hard to define time also, but if you try to imagine time, of course not time on your watch, if you try to imagine time and it's something that is so consistent and you cannot destroy it, it's always there, and at the same time it does not exist at all, then you get a clue what fashion could be. Not fashion industry, but fashion. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. Feel free to watch my next videos. This was just part 1 in my series Defining Fashion. In my next video, I will talk more about fashion and time. Thank you and bye.